joining this 38th edition of Thrive with Babs. Thanks for joining in, and nice having you guys here. What we are discussing today is a topic titled Why You Get Some and Then You Lose Some. Why do we get some and why do we lose some? The 38th edition of Thrive with Babs on this 28th day of July in the year 2024. And just to give a background to Thrive with Babs is a forum where I get to share some of my learnings, some of my gleanings, and my meditation, my observation about life, about people, about situations and events with friends and with mentees. And then, as I said, this is the 38th edition, and we started, I think, year 2018 or so. And since then, we've had series of topics, some of them in series as well. We had this purpose series that we did for 4 different sessions. And then we also had a couple of other ones that like the last one we just concluded, the Achiever's Wheel. We did that for 5 episodes. 5 months. We're looking at different wheels, with different ways that an achiever has to push in the course of getting to success. So, these are some of the topics we've had to discuss over time. And soon enough, we'll be making the topics public. So for those who want to watch the video, you'll be able to access them maybe on the whatever platform we finally decide to go with. And then just like a background as well, reference justification for Thrive. We usually use most of the references for Thrive are drawn from the Bible as a literature, and as I said, not as a religious material, not as a religious document, not to preach, but to draw lessons of life, about situations, and then also use those lessons to apply to our own situations, to what we are discussing. And the reason for that is because of the enduring nature. It's enduring nature, it has a universal applicability. And then, the lesson can be applied over and over different scenarios and circumstances. And then, we can also relate to some of the lessons, some of the situations that, we are seeing in the Bible. Then, apart from that, I also draw copiously from quotes, from learning materials that I've read, from books, from quotes. I particularly love quoting Jim Rohn because I see him as a mentor. It's late now, but he used to be regarded as America's foremost business philosopher, very deep and very wise man. So you see quite a lot of Jim Rohn's quotes in some of my teachings, because I read and I study at his feet as well. And then, and other materials too that I find useful from time to time. Bulk of what we reference in Thrive is not a motivational session, as I always say. I don't see myself as a motivational speaker. I see myself more as a student of life who loves to share what is learning from life, from observation, from meditation, from torture, from nature, and then from the scripture. So that is where I see myself, not a motivational session, but a life sharing session. For some of us who have been there, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to what I'm talking about. Now, to do a recap of the last session we had when we looked at the wheel of adversity management and resilience, that was the last of the wheel that an achiever must be able to navigate, must be able to roll in order to achieve success, sustainable success, mind you. So we looked at what the kinds of, I mean, who are the people that adversity happens to? Does it happen to people because of their race, because of their skin color, because of their ethnicity, gender, family background, education, economic status, or religion? And we saw that adversity doesn't respect all this. It happens to everyone and anyone. Adversity happens to anyone and everyone. It's not something that selects, it must happen to this one because it's black or because it's white or because it's yellow. It affects everyone. And then we also looked at what causes adversity, what causes misfortune. And we're able to also see that some of the things that caused that include maybe the way we think, the way we think can actually lead to adversity. If our thinking is not deep enough, if we do not think to the level we should think before taking a decision or making a choice, it can lead to bad results. It can lead to negative consequences. So we need to invest in thinking. I know the thinking is something you don't have to pay for. You just have to make time for it and think more than the average individual. Think beyond the surface and try to analyze as you're thinking as well. And then thought pattern, if our thought pattern is usually negative, you're usually expecting the walls or even to fall, then um, that is likely to happen. So we also have to be careful to choose our thoughts. We don't have to just let our mind be open to every kind of thing that life throws away. I personally, I don't like watching horror films. I don't like watching horror because I don't like to watch films that are too violent, too graphic, because I know the sensitivity of the mind. You can't just allow anything to just be creeping into your mind. It will affect you. You see children um, that are, I mean, who don't know anything about what is called fear. They are afraid to go in the dark. Why? Because of what they've watched. Because of what they watched. My 8-year-old son, I mean, all of a sudden he started becoming afraid of being alone. And I said, it wasn't like this before. But because he's been watching some stuff on TV, all those bad stuff. I know you can't be with them to watch everything they are watching. I said, this is what is because he's been exposing his mind to negative stuff, and that is affecting his psyche. Why should you be afraid? What should you be afraid of being alone? I mean, what is there? Well, because when we don't guard our mind, our thinking, that is what happens. And you can imagine a child doesn't know anything about life, but all of us, we learn all these things from very youthful age. Maybe whenever we grow up in what we expose our minds to and all that. And that is the way it is. And then when we make poor choices, bad decisions, misfortune, adversity happens, when ancestry can also be a very, I mean, Adam, most of us, we don't have anything to do with what our ancestors have done, but we end up paying for some of the consequences if we are not conscious enough to be able to trace that and then remove ourselves from such circumstances. It can happen. It can happen. Our ancestry can play a role in the kind of adversity that happens to us, in the kind of misfortune that happens to us. So, for those who are really spiritual, for those who are really observant, those are things that you need to trace and then be able to say, okay, this thing, I don't want it. If it's been a pattern in your lineage, then you need to know that okay, it has to stop on your own. I mean, at your own on your own side. It's not going to transmit from you to your children and then to your children's children. These are very fundamental things that we need to take note of, please. Ancestry, you have to just take time to watch. Is my family always poor? Are they always struggling? Do they always have it be untimely that you have to at least you just have to take time. And that is talking about the depth of thinking. And then start to see some of those things. With my family always in affluence? So no matter what, if we don't even do much, we'll still be comfortable. So you got to maybe the parents or the ancestors, they've done some things that are affecting the entire generation. So those are things, it can be for good or for bad. So it's for us to take note of those and then do something about them. If it's good, let's enforce it. If it's bad, let's stop them. And then parentage, your parents' choices and decisions in the past, the actions can also affect you for good or for bad. And we're talking about adversity. That means it can happen. And I think I mentioned because another thing we try, I don't have to mention somebody, I can't mention somebody's name, I can't be referencing people that we know here and there so that I also don't fall liable to libel or defamation of character. So that's why it's also safe to use the Bible. And I think I referenced this talking about there's one guy, when in the Bible, when the children of Israel conquered the wall of Jericho, when they conquered Jericho city and they demolished that wall, Joshua placed a curse on that wall that whoever attempts to build that wall again will start the foundation on their first son and will complete the work on their last one. And several hundred years later, one guy called Hiel, I think, decided to, he probably didn't even know what happened, what somebody had, the cost that had been placed on that project. It's a project, mind you, and he decided to undertake that project. And according to what the scripture tells us, when they were starting that building, the wall, the foundation was laid, his first son died. And as they were completing the wall, the last son also died. So you can imagine what were the offense of those two chaps? Nothing. But their parent, their father, made a choice that was at variance with the cost that had been placed. And that affected the children. So if they had been aware that, hey, man, whoever tried this thing will lose two of his children, I'm sorry, maybe they will have prevailed on their father, hey, don't do this because you're going to be at our own expense. So that is the sensitivity of parentage. Some of the decisions, some of the actions that our parents take can also affect us for good or for not so good consequences. So we need to take note of this. Then external afflictions, some people are just sold out to evil. It's just in their nature to be evil, and then they just want to see who can they make sad, make sorrowful, make unhappy. And so external affliction is also a cause for adversity, and then we need to take note of this. And then there could be unknown reasons or unknown reasons that nobody knows that are just known only to God. And then, so adversity can come from unknown sources too. But, if we take time to think, we're able to see where whatever we are going through, where it comes from. And then, how do we deal with or manage adversity? As I said, you need God. You need God. You need a supernatural force that is stronger than that thing you are contending with. Forget what anybody says about there's no God. There is God. So I mean, you need God to be able to deal with adversity. You need to call on the God you are calling to be close to your God. Uh, Whoever you call God, I know one God that is Yahweh, Jehovah, the one mentioned in the Bible. But if you have any other God that you believe that is you need God. You need a higher supernatural force to be able to deal with affliction. And then you need quality information. You need information to know, okay, what are the things that I can do to deal with this? Then you need the right counsel. You need to seek counsel. You need to also take the right actions, and you need resilience. And then we now ended with, I think we also talk about what are these fears, what are the areas where affliction and adversity comes. And then we talked about it can be in form of health, it can be in form of career, it can be in business, it can be mental, it can be emotional. They come in different forms. And then how do you develop resilience? Because we need resilience after all this is said and done, after you've consulted your God, you've gotten the right information, you are taking the right counsel from the right people, and then you are taking the right action. Then you also need to develop resilience. And resilience, we said, okay, to develop resilience, you need to have the right input. What are you imputing in yourself? What are you imputing in your mental capacity, in your mental repository? You need also the right thinking. You don't have to now focus, start to indulge in what they call thinking, thoughts that stink, thoughts that they don't have value. So you need to have the right thought, and then you need the right company, because a company can also affect you. You're as good as the quality of friends you hang up with. You're as great or you're as bad as the quality of friends you hang up. So it's when you hang around. So you have to choose the right company, and then you need to persevere, and then you have to be hopeful, because resilience means, okay, you believe that at the end of it all, you are going to come out of this better, you're going to come out of it stronger, more robust, and all that. So there's that hope that must keep you going. So today we are looking at why we don't get it and why we get some. Why don't we get some? Why do we get some? Why do we lose some? And the thought I would like us to ponder on today is that there's actually a psychology to winning and losing. There is a psychology to winning and losing. There's a psychology to gaining and losing. There's a psychology to getting and not getting. Winners don't just win and losers don't just lose. There's a deep seated reason why we gain some and lose some. There's a deep seated reason why we gain some and why we lose some. And that is what we are here to discuss today. And so, looking at psychology of achievement, why do we gain some? Why do we lose some? Beautiful. I think here we have like three sessions where, because it's supposed to be it's not a monologue, it's an interactive session. So I would like to learn from you guys. Um, who would like to have audience insight here and share your experience with us, please? Have you ever wanted something so bad and then you end up getting it? If you don't mind, do you want to share with us your your insights? Have you ever wanted something so bad and ended up getting it? What was it and how did you get it? Please, audience participation. We'd like to hear from you guys so that we all can learn what worked for you. Anybody willing to share with us? Anyone, if you want to share, please just raise up your hand and then you will be recognized to talk. Anyone, have you ever wanted something so bad? If you guys don't answer, I won't be able to proceed because there are three sessions like this where I also want to learn from you. I believe others can learn from your sharing as well. And there's no wrong answer. We are not marking any scripture. We are just sharing life. We are sharing our life experiences, our life learnings. So, and that is what Thrive with Babs is about. It's a life sharing session. So, who wants to share with us, please, from the experience? Please, time is going so that we can close on time. Anyone, have you ever wanted something so bad and ended up getting it? Anyone willing to share? Anyone willing to bail the cat for us, please? Or should I call name? Okay, Adigun, please, you don't mind sharing with us? Have you ever wanted something so bad and then you ended up getting it? Adigun, you have the mic. Is Adigun here? I can see the name. Okay, if I did, I think I saw that Azubike was going to talk.
Yes.
Please share with us.
Good evening, House. Good evening, Mr. Babatunde. Thank you for this session. I was actually looking for where to raise up my hand from. Thank God I saw my
Oh,
so
sorry.
mine was just a quick one.
Okay.
And like everyone knew, I practice security. So when I after my NYSC and I had the intention to join the military and the law enforcement of Nigeria. So while doing that, they weren't forthcoming as I had expected. So I started to working within the private security sector at a young stage. So and I was new to the industry. I was so curious, trying to learn so many things, how to get started and all of that. Some were encouraging me, some were discouraging me. So and then I love it a lot, and I love research a lot. So I was making effort to get to know everything I needed to know about the private security industry in Nigeria. What I was just laying my hand on to learn from happens to be more of materials from abroad, written by expatriates. Then and they were all advanced materials, security management, consultancy, and all of that. So no one was actually giving me the baseline knowledge I needed to get started. And I became curious and I said, yeah, for some of the materials I laid my hand on within the global space actually have some sort of baseline knowledge to share, but they are not domesticated. They don't fit into the context of Nigeria. They don't fit into the context of Africa, which I'm looking for. So I became curious and I said that this is a need. I might not just be the only one who is in need of this. That means at that early stage, I needed to see what I can do for the industry to close up that, to contribute to closing up that gap. So, and I told myself I was going to study, I was going to publish a book that would give a baseline knowledge to those who had interest to work in the security sector, even if it's the public sector. And I wanted that book so desperately that within that space of time. So, and I started research, doing a whole lot of things, attending seminars, conferences, training, and all that. Then 3 years down the line, I started working on a book that was basically for frontline greenhorn, those we call greenhorn in private security. So, and 2 years later, I got done writing the book. That was 5 years now. So we got to the stage of publishing. So I spoke to a couple of publishing companies then I needed to talk to within my space. And the bill they were giving me in terms of running publication, marketing, production, and all that was something I just couldn't afford. So and patiently I waited. I kept working on the draft of the book, and then like another 2 years, 3 years down the line, so I got to know that I can actually push the book, publish it by myself, do a sort of self-publishing. And I started to take the book by home. So then sometime last year, it was end of last year, I was able to actually do a sort of very poorly worked sort of self-publication and a hard book in the market. Yes, it wasn't, the book is not doing so good, but I guess I feel very so much fulfilled because I was so desperate to contribute something into it this week, and I went into it with the little I had. And at the end of the day, I had it out there. So that was one of the lessons I actually felt that you're sharing with us.
Thank you so much for sharing this very detailed journey. With us, Azubike. I'm sure we'll still come back to you later. Please be ready as we'll probe you some more just to know what worked for you and all that. Does anybody else want to share with us from their own experience? Have you ever wanted something so bad? We heard, Azubuke's case. He's always wanted to work in the security sector. And then he now also started seeing the need for a book, a knowledge resource that is missing there. And he did all he could to get it out, to get the book written, despite the challenges. You know what it's like writing a book. Then even now getting the book published, another challenges. But he was able to get it done at long last, even though it may be not with the kind of returns he's expecting, but at least he's been able to fulfill that. And that is something, that's an achievement. Is anybody else willing to share with us, please? You have the mic, you have the floor. You wanted something so bad, and then you get it. What was it, and how did you go about it? so that we can learn from your example as well. I've learned some things from what Azuki has shared now. So we all need to learn from us. Okay, Chioma, please, you have the mic. Please go ahead.
Okay, good evening. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, so mine is also in line with what Mr. Azubike just shared with us.
Okay.
And that was when I also wrote my book.
Wow.
So basically I started being very active on social media in 2017. And at that time the competition wasn't really that much. But as time went on, like years later, we started getting a lot of writers, we started getting a lot of engagements online. Then everybody was publishing books, people were publishing ebooks, especially. That time, being someone who had already gained a little popularity on Facebook, I said that myself, I must be an author. Right? So then people would be calling me an inspirational writer because I love writing on motivational stuff a lot. So then they would just call me motivational writer, motivational speaker. Sometimes I would debunk. I'll be like, no, I'm just a motivational writer. I'm not a speaker. But then I became very intentional in 2019. At that time, I went in for writing competitions and all of that. And that was how I became more serious on social media with writing. So that competition spurred me, and I was like, okay, maybe it's time to even put some of these things into writing. Now, I didn't really know how to go about it because I haven't written before, but I had this burning desire in me to author a book, and I just needed an expert, more like someone whom I really call a coach, or so to say, an accountability partner. And I didn't know how to go about getting the attention of these top, very popular people on social media. So what I did was I had to save up and enrolled for a writing masterclass with one of them, because one of the bonuses for that course was you get, like, I think a month's mentorship, free mentorship and accountability. And if you want to write a book, the person would also hold you by the hands and teach you, or just assist you, and you'll be more accountable to that person. So just to get that attention, I saved up. I think that training was that masterclass was about 10,000 that time. So I started taxing myself because I wasn't really doing anything at that time. So I started saving up gradually. My expenses reduced. So I was just intentional about saving up to register for that class. Eventually, I registered, and that was how I took advantage of that bonus, and I wrote my book that year in 2022, 2020, 2021, 2022. I wrote my book and published an ebook, though it's not in hard copy yet, but I achieved that. I was very happy when I eventually did it. Like, it was challenging, but I was very glad I was able to write that book. And I sold, though, not as much as I wanted, but I still wrote that book and sold. And people bought the book beyond my expectations. So that was just, I felt very fulfilled when I did that. And that was it for me.
Congrats to you too, Chioma, and no, two similar experiences, two similar situations that we've learned today. Okay, thanks so much for sharing, Chioma. Let's quickly go to the next question. Please, if you'd like to also share with us, have you ever desired something so much, yet you did not get it? Do you mind sharing what that is with us, and what it was, and why you think you did not get it? Anyone willing to share with us, please? Anyone, please, if you want to share, this is a live sharing session. Nobody's marking your face, but we want to learn from one another so that we can be the best for it. Anyone willing to share, please? Have you ever desired something so much, so bad, yet you did not get it? What was it? What was it? And do you mind sharing with us why you think you did not get it? Remember, our topic is why you get some and you lose some. Anyone willing to share with us, please? Anyone want to share with us insights? Should I call names again? Julius, you mind sharing with us? Julius.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm still trying to wrap my brain. Okay, let me say this one. I have
Okay.
always wanted to be enrolled for a creative writing in the master's, maybe an MSc. I've been trying several means. Maybe applying for creative writing competition that would take me to that level, but I have not been able to get it. Now, the last one I did was with Spring Engine. About maybe some weeks ago, they posted it on their website and I applied. So last week I received a message. They said they are sorry they could not, take my what I have submitted. But they wrote there that they did not have any reason for doing that. The only thing they did was that they have so many applications and they have few slots available. So it was a kind of a disappointment.
Yeah, sorry.
And I was a little bit happy because they did not say, oh, your work was not good enough. What they said was that they have no reason for rejecting it. So I think that is what I can say for now.
Okay. Thank you so much, Julius, for sharing that with us. I know, how painful it must have been, maybe for you to also, this is what you want so much, this master in creative writing, and, they not being, not accepting you at the moment. So it can be quite discouraging, but I'm hoping that by the time we are done with this session today, you will have also learned one or two things that will help you to refire and then get it the next time you are attempting to do so. Does any other person wants to share with us what something that they've desired so much and so badly want it, yet they've not been able to get it? And what could be the reason do you think is why you've not gotten it? Okay, Choma, you want to go for it again? Please, you have the floor.
Yes, I have something I've always wanted so badly, but I haven't been able to get that. And I think I'm kind of discouraged now to even continue. And that is just maybe winning a graphics competition or something for graphic designers. I've been enrolling, or I've gotten into so many design competitions, both especially national ones. And at the end of the day, I end up not winning any, not even qualifying safe. And the most painful part of this whole thing is some of the winning designs, when you see them, you would look at this design and you know that what I did is far better than this. How did this person win? And at the end of the day, I just tell myself, maybe it's a case of man, no man. Yeah. So when I see some of these contests, some of these competitions, I just hiss and pass. I'm like, at the end of the day, now they'll go and give it to someone who did not really even do something nice. So it's been that way for me. About some 2 years ago, I would always embark on these competitions, and the outcome is always something heartbreaking. So I just stopped. So when I see some of these things, I pass. Even when people call my attention to enroll into some of these competitions, I'm like, it's not worth it. So that's something I've always wanted badly, but at the end of the day, I don't seem to get it.
Wow. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yes.
That can also be discouraging. But
Yes.
let's hope that in the course of our discussion tonight, maybe we also learn maybe one or two things, what we need to do maybe at the next attempt, so that you don't altogether give up on it. So the third questions will be answered. This is for anyone now. We are going to do some deductive reasoning, and deductive reasoning where we what are the lessons, what are the deductions that you've gained or you can infer from the experiences shared by Chioma, Azubuike, and Julius? What I mean, anyone can talk. Please, we want participation so that we can all learn. What do you think? Maybe some of you have better information about what Azubuike has even shared. Maybe you have better information about what Chioma has also shared, what she got, what she didn't get, and maybe what Julius has also shared as to what he did not get in terms of the master class and master stuff that he wants to do for creative writing. Anyone willing to share with us what are your takes? What are your deductions from those sharing? This is a sharing session, please, and everybody is encouraged to participate. Anyone willing to share with us? Anyone willing to take a go at it? Anyone, please? Should I call names again? I should call names. Adigun, are you able to talk now?
Good evening, sir.
Oh, good evening. Please, what are your
good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Can you hear me? The question is, did you hear the experiences of Azubuike, Chioma, and Julius? What are your deductions from them?
Yes, sir.
What do you think might have happened? Why Azubuike was able to get that book published eventually, despite all the resistance he got, and why Chioma was able to get her own book published as well, and why she did not win this writing competition that she's been applying for years, and even for Julius, who has been applying for this master in creative writing. Why has he not been able to get it? You want to share what you think are your own, learning from there, please.
Yes, I listened to the testimonies, and yes, there is a consistent pattern with determination. With this, I can see the theme of determination. That is, people are ready to always not looking at the barriers, they're seeing barriers as opportunity. The kind of what's it called? The kind of something that will make you that you are just seeing the goal right before you. So nothing really else beside you currently matter. And even I think it was the lady that spoke after was like, okay, that she was a bit discouraged at some point, but discouragement is part of it. So my own deductive thing is a question of determination to achieve those goals.
Thank you very much, Adigun, for that theme, that recurring theme of determination that we can see. It could infer from what Azubuike has shared and what Chioma has also shared with us. I will call Deborah next. Deborah, what are your deductions from these experiences that our friends have shared with us? If you can talk. Deborah. Is Deborah here? Because I just have to start calling names since nobody wants to talk. So, Deborah, are you able to talk? Okay, if you're not able to talk, it's assumed that you are not really here. I will go to Marianne. Marianne, you want to share with us what are your own deductions from the experiences we've had so far? Marianne?
Okay, yes, I'm on the call. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. So for the first for Chioma, getting her book published, I would say maybe she just had that picture in her mind, right? That picture, the imagination was just in her mind. She just kept seeing, oh, her book, getting her book published. I think that thing created like a very great, like the vision was just so big in her mind. Like she just wanted it done every day. It was just there in her thoughts and imaginations, everything. And while reaching out to the person she said she reached out to on Facebook, that was just in her mind, and she got it done. We all know how, the power of, we know the power of imaginations and positive thinking and thoughts. So that's for me. So for the second one, not getting it, I would say maybe you've not dedicated the amount of time you dedicated to, imagining the other one, attaching positive thinking to getting your book published. She has not maybe applied that same principle to the other competition. That's what I have to say.
Thank you very much, Marianne. That imagination, the power of the imagination coming to play in both Azubike and Chioma's own, sharing that, you just saw this book and then the book got written at long last, despite all the issues of even getting it done and then getting it published. And then it happened. And so thank you. Imagination, very, very key. And then why she didn't get it in terms of the graphic design competition, that's probably because she didn't also put that same power of imagination to use, or maybe she has not put it to use enough. And then that could be the reason. Any other person willing to share with us from your analysis, from your deductions, based on what has been shared? Anyone, please, willing to share, or should I call the name of the third person to share with us? Fumilayo, let's call you. I hope you are here. Hello, Fumilayo, can you talk? Okay, please, would it be share with us what are your deductions?
Okay, for the first two, I did not hear clearly. I don't know, my network was doing somehow, I don't know. But for the other two, so the ones that I heard, based on, I don't know, based on my experience or just the discussion that I had with my friends some hours ago, some of them have been, like what they told me, that some of them have applied for like 250 applications and they were rejected for it. So they were trying to encourage us that we are just applying and that we are just starting, that there does no matter where, like no matter the rejections that we've gotten, we should not allow discouragement to set in. So based on what Chioma and Julius have said, they are saying that they were discouraged because of the things that because of their experiences. So I'm just saying that it does not matter when discouragement that comes. Me too, in a way, I'm discouraged based on what I've tried to gain, based on what those are the things that I've applied for. But rather than getting discouraged and then stopping at a point, that we should continue, that we should be encouraged to get that goal and continue to apply and continue to find other ways to, and then whatever it is at a point in time, maybe it's going to be successful. Yeah, that's what I think.
Thank you very much, Fumi, for sharing that. I mean, you also, in a way, you also added your own sharing to it. Okay, well, even myself, these are things I'm actually also going through, and based on your discussion with your friends, okay, I mean, that they've actually also tried several times, hundreds of times, and they've not gotten, or maybe they've actually got it. So, hey, you two don't get discouraged. And that is sort of syncing with what we are discussing here today, which is why you get some and then lose some. So we'll just go to the psychology of achievement. And here I'm saying that life is an open check. And you often get what you really desire from it if you want it bad enough. Life is an open check. You often get what you really desire from life if you want it bad enough. And the person that said, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and it will be opened to you. For everyone, not this is for some people, say for everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks, it will be opened. The person that said that is regarded as God. So he is an authority. So the main reasons behind our getting or losing are what we do or what we do not do with those invitations to ask, to seek, and to find. The main factors are what we do or do not do with that invitation to ask, to seek, and to find. Because for everyone, not some people, not the Caucasians, not the Black, not the Asians. It's for everyone. That cuts across race, cuts across gender, cuts across ethnicity, across background. Everyone who asks is the person that receives. And the one that is that person who seeks is the one that finds. If you don't seek, it is rare for you to find. And the person that keeps knocking, knocks, it will be open. That is the person that the door is opened to. If you stand in front of a door and you don't knock or you don't announce that you are there, there's rarity that that door will just open to you. Okay, now we have sliding the automated doors that no one's, but if you are not near the door will not open. Because those doors, they have sensors, they can feel you and then they open to you. So it's by being there, it's by going there that the door opens. If you don't knock, if you don't stand close to the door will not open to you. So there must be that element of presence, of knocking. Forget. So the main factors behind us getting or not getting are what we do or what we not do with those invitations. So how do we get? And how do we win? And so still working with those invitations is that you ask intelligently. Intelligently. Most of what we ask, or some of what we ask, maybe we are not asking with some level of intelligence. Intelligence means you have done certain due diligence. You've done your research. What do they want? This thing, the person I'm asking for, what does he or she want? So if I'm asking for something, I must ask for it intelligently. Do I have what it takes to get that thing that I'm asking for? Do I have what it takes to get it? If I don't, do I have the skills? Do I have the time that I need to devote to it, to manage it? Do I have the resources to be able to make the most of it? Now, we ask intelligently by doing due diligence, doing the research. I'm applying for a job. So we just see the vacancy and then we apply blindly. We don't take time to read all the details of what the people who announce the job are asking for. They say they want certain personality, certain temperament. This is what the person is going to do. And because we all have our resume in, as template, we just send it without taking time to actually read through all those requirements and then patterning our application to those requirements. For those competitions, do you guys take time to read through all they say they want? I'm not saying you didn't read through, but you take time to read through all the things they say they want, all the elements. Do you now make them into a checklist? So when you are done with your own bid, then you start to tick the checklist. They say they want this. Is my submission, does it meet this? Is they want this? Does my submission meet this? So you now start to tick. That's how you ask intelligently. Then you ask like you mean it. Like you mean business. Like you mean it. I'm asking for this because I want it. I really need it. It will show in the way you project your submission. It should show in the way you project your request. When somebody wants something and you know this person really means, you will know in their voice, you will know in the way they ask. And then ask without taking no for an answer. Without taking no for an answer. That means if you hear no once, no is not what you are asking for, you ask again. No is not the answer you want, so you won't take the no. The fact that you get a no once doesn't mean that then that is the end of it. You will not take that no for an answer, so you keep asking and asking and asking and asking until you get your yes. Then seek. And I say you got to seek strategically. How many of us go about our requests, our pursuits in a strategic manner? We seek to win this, we seek to get this. And what strategy do we deploy in seeking what we want? What planning has gone into it? What depth of thoughts have been invested in it? We have to be strategic in what we seek. Strategy, planning, timing. I mean, what do I do at what time? Do I need somebody to also join me in this thing? Those are the things that strategies, speaks to. How you approach it, when you approach it, from which angle, from where, and know at what frequency. You've got to be strategic in the way you seek things. And you've got to seek with passion. With passion. Your passion, it will be obvious when you want something. The way you seek it, even the I don't know, this person wants it. The person that wants it more gets it. That is the way when you see football games, and that's really very interesting example for me because when you see teams, and these teams they enter the game as an underdog. But because they want it more, maybe they are fighting relegation, they want to go into relegation, and the team that is maybe the top of the league or maybe among the first four, among the first six, and play them because this team does not want to be, because their life depends on that game. We see the way they play with so much passion, they will win it. So it's not even about talent. It's not even about skills. It's about the passion. And then, strategy is there because, for you to be able to even play with passion, you've got to deploy strategy. Otherwise, you will just passionately be wrong all over the place. And then with aggression, seek with aggression. That doesn't mean you get violent. You seek with aggression. Aggression, it shows that you really want it. That means when they are playing. So if even the best of footballer is in the other team, but because these people, their life, their whatever depends on that match, on them not losing. You see the way they will play that best footballer on that field, you will be shocked. And you see that has happened several times. I've seen several times in the game of football, which is the one I actually, watch mostly. You see that aggression will be there. They won't allow the best player to even have a touch of the game. As the person is touching, they are already marking the person off the field. So you seek with aggression, and that is why when Jesus Christ was saying that since the days of John the Baptist, the kingdom of God suffers violence. That violence is not violence of, it's aggression that he meant. Aggression. Aggression. You've got to be aggressive. And then when you knock with perseverance. And I'm glad some of us have mentioned that. You've got to persevere. Persevere is you are suffering. You've suffered, what was it called? You suffered rejection in times past. You suffered embarrassment, but you don't mind those pains. You don't mind those inconveniences. You are still knocking anyway. Because when you keep knocking, let's use that knocking imagery as an example. When you are knocking with your knuckle. The harder and the longer you knock, the painful it gets, isn't it? Because as you are knocking with your knuckles, your fingers will be paining you. But you keep knocking, that is perseverance. There is a pain in the process. You are knocking, you are feeling the pain, yet you keep knocking. That is perseverance. And then you persist. You keep at it. You don't stop. That is persistence. So when you knock with perseverance, ignoring the pains, ignoring the embarrassment, the shame, the humiliation of time past. You keep at it and you keep doing it persistently. And then you do it ethically too. That is where some of us will also miss it. The fact that you have to be persistent doesn't mean that you should be rude. Doesn't mean that you should discard etiquettes. You should discard good manners. No, when you ask, when you are seeking, when you are knocking, you do it ethically. You've got to respect the process, respect the other people. If you're asking somebody, if you're asking a system, you've got to also be respectful. Don't do it in a way that will also piss them off. So you've got to ask, you've got to seek, and you've got to find or knock with some level of decorum, some level of good manners, good behaviors, ethically, with etiquettes. Somebody says no, doesn't mean that you now start to insult the person. After all, yeah, you have it. The person will not even give you again. So some of us, the attitude can also, disqualify us from the process or from even getting it. So you've got to ask with that decorum, with that consciousness of the fact that, hey, it doesn't end with a no. And that doesn't mean that I should now insult the person, insult the system, insult the organization, insult the government. No, you keep asking, you keep knocking, you keep seeking with decorum, with good manners, good behaviors. If you don't get it, so be it. Still continue. There's one very classic example I like to reference in the Bible. And that's why I can't be talking about fellow human beings and all that. There's this woman that went to Jesus Christ, seeking healing for a child. Now, I think she wasn't Israelite. She wasn't an Israelite. I think she was maybe from either she was a Syrian or from Sidon. And when that woman, very, very classic example, and I love it, that woman went to meet Jesus and she was asked, she said, please come and heal my son. And Jesus Christ gave that woman a very insulting answer. He said that it is not, Jesus Christ said it. Because some of you start to get religious and sentimental. Jesus Christ said that it is not proper to give the food that belongs to children to dogs. Jesus Christ said it is not proper to give a food that belongs to children, to give that food to dogs. In other words, it was saying that that woman is a dog, and he wasn't called to attend to people from another tribe, from another nation. That's what he told that woman, Oha. Now, some of us would take offense. Some of us will take umbrage. How can, and they said is Jesus, he said the Son of God. He said is this. How can he tell me that? We'll take, and then we'll lose it. But that woman said, yes, my Lord, I actually agree with you. But you know that even dogs can eat from the crumbs that fall from the table of the children where they are eating. Wow. I was that always blows my mind. That was attitude. He said, yes, I agree with you. But dogs can eat from the crumbs that fell from the table. And Jesus Christ said, geez, that I've never seen a faith like this, not even in Israel. Say, go back to your house, your son is healed. And that is how that woman got her answer, how she got her healing, how she got a miracle. Some of us will have taken offense. How dare you call me dog? And he said, it's God. He said, the Son of God. And just live in anger, and then that's it. That's the end. Maybe the child will have died to that ailment. But this woman, no, she knew what she wanted, and she wasn't going to take a no for an answer. So when she was insulted in the course of asking, she refreshed her, she adjusted, saying, yes, I know I'm not disputing, but dogs can eat from the crumbs. So that means, let me take from the crumbs. Give me what comes from the ground, falls from the table. And that is it. You've got to ask with that decorum, without losing your cool, without losing your composure, without losing your self-respect in the process. Now, as we round off the session for tonight, we'll just read from some of quotes that some personages have also shared about what we just discussed tonight. And one says, as Rudyard Kipling says, that not getting what you want either means you don't want it enough, or you have been dealing too long with the price you have to pay. It means that you either you don't want it enough, or you have been dealing too long with the price you have to pay. So you are looking at the price and you are delaying. You are looking at what will he get, what will he ask of me, what will he get from me, and then you don't take the bull by the horn. And Martin Freeman says, I'm a big believer that life changes as much as you want it to. As much as we want our life to change, it changes. Then Sarah Ban Petrak says, the world needs dreamers and the world needs doers. But above all, the world needs dreamers who do. The world needs dreamers who do. Dreamers that take action. Dreamers that seek. Dreamers that knock. Dreamers that ask. Those are the ones that the world needs. Then Jules Renard says, everything you want is out there waiting for you to ask. Everything is out there waiting for you to ask. Everything you want also wants you, but you have to take action to get it. Strategic action, intelligent action, ethical action, professional action. I mean, all these things that we've talked about, passionate action, aggressive action. Everything you want is out there waiting for you to ask. And then everything you want also wants you, but you have to take action to get it. Then Norman Vincent Peale, I'm sure is very known to most of us, says that the great secret of getting what you want from life is to know what you want and believe you can have it. Believe you can have it. And then you'll get it. And then from Jim Rohn, say, if you really want to do something, you will find a way. If you don't, you will find an excuse. So if you really want to get something, you will find a way to get it. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. And another example that I would like to share is, where we are, the way Nigeria is Nigerians, we are so certificate driven that, can you imagine? But I'm sure most of us there, we either maybe in school or we've graduated. And the point is that it's not as maybe most of us have any clear cut, how do I call it, passion about even the course and all that. Some of us may do, but the point is that we just believe that we must go to school to be successful in life. So the passion, the aggression with which Nigerian youths seek admission into schools, they will go to any length to get it. And that's why you see many Nigerian youths are in schools. Because we just have that whatever, even though some of us are not meant to be in university, maybe some of us are just meant to be maybe in technical schools or in poly, but we just want admission at all costs because we believe that our success in life depends on it. So because we want it so bad, you see millions and millions of youths, subscribing to JAB every year, millions, because of that craze, that whatever, and we do it aggression, some cheat, some do all manners of things, because they want to get it, forgetting etiquette, forgetting ethics. So it's that thing. If you want something so bad, you will definitely get it. Life is that flexible. If you want something so bad, you want it so much, you are sure of getting it. Life is that flexible. Life doesn't have that kind of rigidity to resist your aggression. Life gives way, gives into you. Once you are aggressive about it, you go about with so much gust, so much energy, so much drive. Life will yield. Life will yield to you. We will give it to you without further resistance. It may be resisting at first, but the more you demand it, the more you go for it, the more you ask for it, seek it, and knock for it. Life is bound to yield it to you. That is the way life works. You want success, you've got to want it bad enough. You want prominence, you've got to want it bad enough. You want greatness, you've got to want it bad enough. You want anything you desire in life. If you don't want it bad enough, you probably may not get it. You probably won't get it if you don't want it bad enough. But when you want it bad enough, it will show. Even your eyes, the ones you are thinking about that thing, the way your eyes will be, people are no, this person means business. That is the way it works. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, we have a Thrive community where you can join, and then some of the things I've maybe penned down at some points or shared have been shared there. So the short link is to use https://bit.ly Thrivers. Once you click on that, it should be able to take you to that WhatsApp group. Then we're also on Facebook. If you click on search for Thrive with Babs on Facebook, you'll also be able to join us. And then online too, you can subscribe to the newsletter or any updates on babatundeoladele.com, babatundeoladele.com, and you'll be live to us. So having said that, thanks for listening. Do we have any questions? Questions, please. Questions. We are done with the session. Now is to take questions and answer.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I joined in a little bit late. I'm so sorry about that. Good evening, sir.
It's okay. Good evening. Do you have any question, please? questions? Okay, there's no question. I want to say thanks to everyone that are joining, those that joined early enough, those that joined at some point. Nice having you guys here. So we see next month on the last Sunday of August when we take another topic, another live sharing session on Thrive. Until then, have a fantastic remainder of July and a wonderful and blessed August. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.